So it looks like Miss Kenya is in the hot seat this week, and not in the way she probably imagined. Sis got booted from her own show after going off on a contestant, and whew, the internet is not having it. Fans are lighting up the timeline screaming, "Justice for Kenya, swing," and honestly, it's turning into a whole movement. From shady producers to behind the scenes tea, we're breaking down exactly what went down, why Kenya is blasting everybody and their mama, and why the fans are riding hard for her right now. Phew, chow, it's messy in Atlanta and the girls are fighting. Kenya Moore, the shade assassin and fan favorite we all know and live for, has officially been kicked to the curb, suspended from the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and the streets are in absolute shambles.
That's some nasty work!
On last night's Real Housewives of Atlanta, viewers finally saw why Kenya Moore got the boot, sharing revenge porn of fellow housewife Britt, after Britt seemingly threatened Kenya with violence.
Now, if you know Kenya, then you know she's no stranger to stirring the pot, but this time, the pot boiled over, spilled all over Bravo's nice white carpets, and left a whole mess nobody was ready to clean up. So let's break this down, because the way Bravo handled this got folks clutching their pearls and chanting "Justice for Kenya" all over the timeline. So here's the lowdown. During the filming of season 16, Kenya found herself in a heated altercation with newbie castmate Brittany Edie. Now Brittany, who, let's be honest, was already rubbing fans the wrong way with her extra energy, allegedly made some not so subtle threats toward Kenya. We're talking talk about a whip and a pistol, okay? That's not housewives level shade, that's call security kind of language.
I still got my pistol, so I don't play them games. I got whipped.
But Kenya, she said two can play that game, and she did what Kenya does best. She came with the receipts, and not just verbal ones. Sis pulled out actual posters with explicit images of Brittany, reportedly found online, and had them on full display at the grand opening of her Moore Hair Spa. The soft launch turned into a full-blown clapback tour, and the audience got front row seats. Now here's where things spiraled. Kenya denied any involvement in revenge. She made it clear that the images were already circulating online, but Bravo wasn't having it. They said, nope, this is too far. And just like that, Kenya was suspended indefinitely. Filming stopped for her, just like that. Cue the outrage. Fans were livid. Social media lit up like a Christmas tree in July. Hashtags started trending, with hashtag Justice for Kenya leading the charge. People were calling out Bravo left and right, asking the real question: why is Kenya the only one getting punished when Brittany allegedly made threats first? I mean, if we're gonna talk about what's inappropriate for TV, let's talk about that pistol line, right? Fans weren't here for the selective outrage, and many said Kenya was reacting out of defense, not being malicious for no reason. And listen, Kenya's fan base is not some casual crowd. They are loyal, loud, and ready to ride. People were even calling for Bravo to bring her back immediately, or at least let her show up for the reunion. Because let's be real, what is a reunion without Kenya twirling in with a new catchphrase and calling people out in HD? Be serious, even some of her fellow housewives had her back. Sheree Whitfield, Candy Burris, and Claudia Jordan all stepped in with words of support, basically saying Bravo played themselves by trying to silence one of the OGs. Cynthia Bailey had a few things to say herself. First, she said,
I was shocked. I was not able to be at that all cast. And I heard about it, so just actually watching it, I was a little disappointed in the way she behaved. I felt like it was inappropriate.
And in a different interview, she added,
I would never ever do business or bring on the show to film anyone's baby daddy, anyone's husband, anyone's boo, at this point, anyone's cousin. If you're related to one of these ladies on the show or connected to them in any way, I just personally wouldn't bring them on to film.
And we gotta give it to Kenya, she might be messy, but she brings the drama, the ratings, and the memeable moments. Like, let's not forget, this is the woman who gave us Gone with the Wind fabulous. You don't just suspend that and expect fans to move on quietly. Now let's talk about Kenya's reaction. After the news broke, she went on Instagram and gave us a farewell post that low-key felt like a funeral. It was giving heartbreak. She reflected on her 12-year run with the show, thanked the fans, and dropped some very pointed hints that she felt wronged and silenced. And the fans, they felt it. The comments were full of love, support, and calls for Bravo to fix it ASAP. But the real tea is that a lot of people are pointing fingers at Bravo's production team. Folks are saying the entire situation could have been handled differently. Like maybe address Brittany's alleged threats instead of letting it escalate. Cause if we're being honest, had production stepped in then, maybe Kenya wouldn't have felt the need to go full-blown expose mode at her own business event. Some fans are even accusing the show of playing favorites or trying to edge Kenya out for good. It's giving giving setup, it's giving one-sided punishment, and it's giving weird energy behind the scenes. And don't forget, this isn't Kenya's first time clashing with Bravo or production. She's always been a polarizing figure, but some people are wondering if this time they use her reaction as an excuse to finally push her out. Just saying. So where does that leave things now? Well, for season 16, Kenya's out. That's confirmed. She won't be filming the rest of the season, and unless Bravo pulls a miracle, we won't be seeing her at the reunion either. And fans are not okay with that. They're saying the show feels flat without her energy, her reads, and her iconic shade. One thing about Kenya, whether you love her or love to hate her, she's essential. She gives Housewives that spark, that messiness, that reality TV gold. And honestly, if Bravo doesn't bring her back for season 17, they might be setting themselves up for a ratings disaster, because the people are watching and they're not here for a RHOA season without Kenya Moore twirling through the chaos with a smirk on her face and a comeback on her lips. At this point, all eyes are on Bravo. Will they double down and keep Kenya out, or will the pressure from fans and castmates force them to reconsider? We've seen them cave before. Public pressure is no joke when your show depends on views and engagement, and right now Kenya is the engagement. Whether she's loved or hated, she gets people talking, tweeting, and tuning in. So yeah, this situation is not over, not by a long shot. Kenya might be down, but she's never out. And if there's one thing we know about Miss Moore, it's that she knows how to flip a storyline, reclaim her crown, and spin the block like a pro. Stay tuned, y'all. The shade storm is just getting started.